I want to thank everyone for all their support in 2011. Let's kick off 2012 with the worst video game ever, and I'm not kidding. King of the Ring for the NES, published by LJN in October 1993. Yep, you heard me. Even though we were well into the 16-bit era by that point, Nintendo was still making a few titles for the NES. The last licensed game, Wario Woods, came out in February 1994, so King of the Ring was one of the last NES games made. On the surface, the game actually looks pretty good. It's based on the new pay-per-view that debuted that year, and boasted a roster of 10 wrestlers. Bret Hart, Hulk Hogan, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Lex Luger, Mr. Perfect, Bam Bam Bigelow, Yokozuna, Randy Savage, and Razor Ramon. But look at those profile pictures. Not a good sign when they only share a passing resemblance to the wrestler. Oh, and the game also features You making his triumphant return from WrestleMania Challenge. You is, or are, I guess, a generic wrestler you can at least rename, although if your name has more than 3 letters, you're out of luck. The gameplay modes are single and tag exhibitions, and King of the Ring in tournament mode, which is odd because King of the Ring is in fact a tournament. But the tournament is actually your standard championship mode, while King of the Ring is a traditional 8-man tournament. So let's start playing. First thing you notice is that the wrestlers look hideous. I've made the backhanded compliment before in other bad games that you can at least tell who the wrestlers are. But you can't even do that. Quick, who's this? If you said Shawn Michaels, you're correct, but I bet you have to think about it for a bit. There are no faces in the game, and I don't mean a lack of good guys. Everyone just has 2 dots for eyes and 1 for the nose. Everything's blue too, so I guess this is a SmackDown taping. The only sounds in the game are static that passes as crowd noise, a wrestler grunting when they hit the mat, and this really exaggerated punching sound. It sounds like it came from Double Dragon or something. They do have 8-bit renditions of wrestler themes on the character select screen, so I guess they blew their whole sound budget there. But how about the gameplay? Well, it's a button masher, which is fine. But everyone has the same moves, which is not fine. No specialty moves at all. In fact, here are your grapple moves. Body slam, hip toss, suplex, and headbutt. And I use those terms loosely since I've never seen worse animations in a game. How do you suplex a guy and end up side by side? But hey, at least they have stats in the game, so some wrestlers are stronger than others and some are faster. So there is some difference between the characters, right? Let's look at those stats.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
The strongest characters in the game are Luger, Hogan, and Yokozuna, which is fine. The wrestler with the most stamina is 40-year-old Randy Savage. The fastest character in the game? Razor Ramon. Someone really had it out for Bret and Shawn.
How's it going, everybody? This is Dave Meltzer. How you doing? How you doing, everybody? This is Dave Meltzer. How you doing, everybody? How you doing? How you doing, everybody?
You have to feel bad for all those kids who still play the NES when all their friends moved on to an SNES or Genesis. When they find out there's a new WWF game coming out just for the NES, they get all excited, then they find out it's garbage. Look, I know the NES was not a priority at this time, and LJN had 16-bit fish to fry, but come on. The WWF had a very rough history on the NES, and this could have been a chance to right some wrongs, but instead fans should have filed a class-action lawsuit instead. Avoid this game at all costs. Even though it came out very late in the NES life cycle, it doesn't seem to have a lot of collectible value. eBay prices aren't exorbitant, so even collectors don't want anything to do with it. It's a lousy cash-in trying to squeeze a few bucks out of a dying system. Happy New Year. So we don't end on a down note, we're going to be starting a very special series starting with our big 25th episode, so be on the lookout for that. Until next time, thanks for watching, and remember, a winner is you.
I know lies would only hurt her, and I could never deceive her in that way. But either way, she'll end up crying.